Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Ancestral Family Living. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my grocery haul that I got at Sam's Club for my family of 5. So starting over here, we have 2 bags of freeze-dried strawberries. These are like $8 a piece, I think. It's like $7 and some change. And this will last us at least 2 snacks for each of my 3 boys. They love dried strawberries. Now that strawberries are in season, we are buying fresh strawberries too. But this is just a good snack for them to have mainly like in the car when we go to the gym. So that way like the strawberry juice will just like get all over their shirts. So this is why I like to give them the dried strawberries. This is also great if your kid is like teething and wants something to like I don't know, snack on, suck on, that kind of stuff. This was like something that we started them out with. We did get some more maple syrup. I've been making my own sourdough granola bars, and so I needed more maple syrup for that, and also just like the pancakes, waffles stuff in the morning. So Adam just had his 4th birthday, and one of the presents that he got was this like electrical board type thing. So we needed batteries for that. But my son Liam also got the same electrical board, so we just ended up getting this because we always are seeming to need batteries in this house. I want to say this was $17 and some change. I haven't tried their Members Mark batteries yet, but I'll let you know how that goes. And then we did need some more Parmesan. This is the authentic Parmesan from Italy. It was like 12 something a pound, so we ended up paying $16.68 for this entire chunk. And since I have to go back and look at my last grocery haul when I actually bought this, but this did last us a really long time and it tasted really well. I just have a cheese grater, so that's just how I do it. You do have to kind of cut off the sides because it is like you don't want to like cook with that, but I have seen people who save the Parmesan rind, I think it's called, and then they put that in with their broth that they make. I haven't tried that yet, but I think I might with the piece because I've just got like this much of a chunk left from the one that I just bought. So I'm probably going to save that and try it with some bone broth and see how that goes. Their strawberries were like really picked over. I want to say it was $3 and some change for each of these, and these are each 2 pounds of strawberries. I realized that the strawberries we were getting from our produce stand are not organic, and these are not organic either. Obviously, the strawberries have been picked like more recently at the produce stand than these have been, but it's a huge price difference. So for a gallon of strawberries at the produce stand, that's literally like $21, and these are $3 a piece. So we're starting just to buy these. They do, like, obviously they taste better from the produce stand, but these are still just as good. I've been slicing off the tops and saving the tops. I'm going to try and make jam with that. I saw a recipe on Instagram where you basically just do the water with the strawberry tops and then you add the sugar in and do it that way. So we're going to give that a shot, but I still have probably like half of a gallon size freezer bag to go until I have enough for that. So in the meantime, we're just going to keep eating these through. And I also have been making my own yogurt, but we call it yogurt bark. So I basically have been slicing the strawberries to freeze on top of the yogurt. And that's like the boys' sweet treat that they'll get. So that's another thing that we've been doing with the strawberries outside of just eating them. I got 3 pounds of their organic grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It was $16.14 like it normally is, and I do think I still have one more of these in the freezer, but just for simplicity's sake, I wanted just to kind of stay on top of having some meat in the freezer. We do still have probably 6 or 7 chicken thighs from my last haul that I did when we had family coming into town, and then I also just cooked up a whole chicken because I needed bone broth. So I've got the meat from the whole chicken in the fridge still. So we didn't really need chicken this week. I did see they had whole chickens, but it still had the giblets with it. So if you have bought the organic whole chickens from Sam's Club, are the giblets like in a bag, or is it still just like you have to take the giblets out? Might be a silly question, but let me know in the comments below if you've like recently purchased that and you know, because that was pretty much the reason why I didn't buy the whole chicken at Sam's. Yeah, so just let me know. And then here we have 4, I'm not even sure how much butter this is in total. Well, it's, I guess 4 pounds, it's each a pound a piece. And this was $13 and some change. We have normally been buying butter pretty much like every time we go to Sam's Club, just because it seems like we're using a lot of it. I don't really cook with anything else other than butter. I do have avocado oil, but I'm out of that right now. And then sometimes I'll cook with coconut oil, but butter is our main go-to. So that's why I like to have it on hand. And it's something you can easily freeze as well. So I know people who will buy like 4 or 5 of these at a time and then just stick them in their deep freezer. So that's something you can do as well. And then over here, we have 6 pounds of their organic bananas. We, kind of like what I do with the strawberries, freezing with the yogurt, I'll do sliced banana on one half and strawberries on the other, because I've got one son who likes bananas, one son who likes strawberries, and one son who just like doesn't care. And so also too, like I ended up making banana bread earlier this week because I had some bananas that needed to be used up. And then also, like, if one of my boys will just snack on one, but they won't eat all of it, I'll end up just throwing that in the freezer to use with smoothies later on. So we did also get some pull-ups. These are for Evan. He turned 2 in January. So we haven't started potty training him yet, but we did have to go up a size in pull-ups because he was just having a lot of blowouts in our 2 to 3T pull-ups we were getting in. So we stocked up on these. They're 3 to 4T and they're the Cars version. And also too, most of these boxes on the inside have like a design in them, so where the kids can just sit and color with them. That's something that they like to do. And we also aren't like wasting paper. So that's a little bonus, I guess, with those. And then last but not least, we needed some more toilet paper. We still have probably like 2 containers of the toilet paper in our garage. But we obviously, with it being a family of 5, we just had family in town. We go through a decent amount of toilet paper. So that is why I just purchased some. And this, I want to say, was around $22. And the pull-ups were $41, I think, for 116, which isn't bad. But I will say with the pull-ups, the bigger size pull-ups, they go up. They all are the same price of like $41.98. But the bigger size, so like the 4T, 5T is like 106 or 108 count. So you do lose pull-ups like the bigger size you go. So that's like why we've been trying to buy like on size with them, or just to like make the smaller sizes last longer, because it's like the same price, but you're getting less the bigger it goes, if that makes sense. So in total, I'm trying to think of how much it was like $173 for all of this stuff. But we had, I think like $13 or $14 in cash back. So we only ended up spending, it was like $163, I think was what our card got charged. So it doesn't really seem like a lot, but right there, that's $42. That was another $20. The meat was almost like a little bit under $20. So it does kind of start adding up once you start like factoring in everything. Like everything was probably, like the bananas, I think were like $1.97 a pound or something like that, or like for one package. But like the butter was around $13 or $14. So it does kind of start adding up. I know the maple syrup was $11.98. That is a price that's sticking out in my head right now. So that's everything that we got at Sam's Club for our family of 5 for this week. Okay, so we just got back from ALDI. It is Sunday morning, and we did stop at the produce stand yesterday. So we ended up getting 2 gallons of milk at the produce stand. This is all I have left of our raw milk. That is milk that is not pasteurized. That's like fresh from a cow. What I did with the other gallon was make yogurt with it. So I have like an entire Instant Pot full of yogurt right now that's in the fridge. So 1 gallon of milk went for the yogurt. So that was $10. And then this other one obviously is $10 too. So we spent $20 yesterday on raw milk. And we'll probably have to need at least another gallon to get us through this week. I did switch over my milk kefir grains, like the ones I have storing in the fridge. So all of this milk, outside of the glass of milk my husband and I each had at dinner last night, went towards the kefir. So a lot of milk was used yesterday. And then, so $20 for the raw milk for 2 gallons. And then we had the farmer's market. So the farmer's market, we ended up just getting eggs because we were in a rush. We needed to get to a birthday party. And he did up his prices to $6 for a dozen of farm fresh chicken eggs. So we spent $12 for 2 dozen eggs yesterday. So over here, everything else that you see is what we just got at ALDI. My boys are hungry and upstairs playing with their father, my husband. So I'm going to try and get this done quickly so we can start making lunch for them. But I did buy 3 packages of their mild cheddar cheese. That will be used for like eggs or like scrambled eggs. I'll put shredded cheese on it. My youngest loves to just eat blocks of cheese. And then also I make our own Cheez-Its. So that is what these will be used for. And also too, we still have probably like 2 blocks of cheese in the fridge, but I like to just have it on hand because it seems like we are pulling out the blocks of cheese daily. We do have some cilantro. I'm going to make some tikka masala. And so the cilantro is to top over that. I was thinking it will be some sort of a freezer meal. So I'll just do a double batch and then, you know, eat half, freeze the other half. And I make homemade einkorn naan, or I guess it's a flatbread when I do that. So that'll be one of the meals that we have this week. We needed onions because we are all out. I do onions in our eggs and also just the various recipes that we cook with. We've got a package of kiwis. This will just be to eat alongside with our meals for the week. We have some bell peppers. I will chop these up and make a little veggie omelet with them. We'll do fajitas. And like if it's starting to go bad, I'll just slice it up and then just freeze it. So that way we have it for other meals we can cook with. But I normally can eat through these in time. If I'm eating omelets or like my veggie scramble every day, I normally can eat through these without them going bad. And then we just bought another gallon of pasteurized like whole milk. This will be what I use to cook with. If we make waffles or German pancakes or anything that involves cooking, we will use the pasteurized milk because obviously the raw milk is more expensive and I don't want to bake with that and like alter the nutritional value of that milk. So that's why we buy the whole milk. I have made yogurt with the whole milk in the past, but I wanted to try doing the raw milk with the yogurt so that way we can get raw yogurt. And I know some people will like ferment the yogurt after that. I need to look more into that. But that is something that I'm thinking about doing with the raw yogurt that I just made. And then we have a bag of lemons. We technically only needed 1 lemon for the tikka masala, but I want to start getting back into like running in the morning. And when I would do that, I would just get a 8-ounce glass of water, put like a pinch of my Redmond's real salt, some honey, and then I would squeeze in a lemon with that. So I've got enough lemons to start doing that. It's just a good way to hydrate yourself in the morning, especially if you get up and work out. It's like your body's like a natural way for your body to absorb the electrolytes as opposed to drinking your like the Element or Gatorade, that kind of stuff. It's like better for your body that way. We have a bag of carrots. I will use this as like a side item in meals, or if I do any bone broth, which I need to make some bone broth today, I will do like 1 or 2 of these carrots in with that. We have a bag of avocados. As you probably have noticed, or like what are your gathering, is that I'm trying to just get back into my healthy eating, especially with lunches. So normally with lunches, I just do rice cooked in bone broth. I'll do an avocado or a sweet potato with ground beef. So that is what those avocados are here for. And then my youngest, Evan, he's home with me and he loves eating that as well. So it's a quick and easy lunch for us. It's something I can meal prep ahead of time. And then all I have to do is just reheat it on the stove and then cut up the avocado. So it's very simple for us to do because sometimes after I get home from the gym, it is a little bit of chaos trying to get lunch cooked while entertaining the toddler and then leaving in like 30 minutes to go pick up my older 2 at preschool. We have 2 packages of their hot dog buns. I will eventually start making some sourdough einkorn hot dog buns, but until that happens, I'm just going to buy them from the store and like save me some sanity, you know. And then we have 2 bags of their freeze-dried strawberries. This will just be for snacking. I also just found a recipe that's like a GAPS diet recipe, but basically and it might sound a little gross, but you cook ground beef and then you put it in the oven to kind of dry it out. And then I think you either put ghee or coconut oil or beef tallow, one of the 3 options I just said, on top of it. And then you put it in the fridge, and that's like a a carnivore version of a granola bar, and some people will put dried strawberries on the top of it. I'm going to try doing that this week and seeing if my boys will like it, because I've been trying to find like higher protein snacks just for everyone, because it seems like, you know, if you have a snack that doesn't really have protein in it, you're still hungry after, and then we're just like eating through all the food that we have for no reason. So I want to give that a shot and see if that will be something that my boys like to eat. Okay, so then moving right along, we have this tomato paste. I needed 1 container of tomato paste for the tikka masala, but I wanted to, also I'll probably end up using 2 of them, but I wanted to have 1 just in the pantry just to have on hand. Probably the next time we go to Sam's Club, I'm going to be buying their big box of it because I have been starting to use more of it. We have some pepperoni slices. This is what my oldest likes to eat in his lunches. So that's what, I think we have like half a bag left, but I wanted to make sure we had enough for this upcoming week. So that is why we have that. We have 2 bags of their organic jasmine rice. I normally buy their white rice, but they did not have any. My boys don't like quinoa, so I ended up buying just the jasmine rice. And I thought that would go really well because we're having the tikka masala this week. So that's like, you know, they pair well together. 1 container of their pure vanilla extract. My vanilla extract that I'm making is still not done yet. It probably needs a couple more months. So until then, I think this is like $3 for this bottle. But we do go through a lot of vanilla extract. So I'm excited for when my vanilla extract is ready. That'll help save us some money. And then we have some baking powder. Just, you know, various baking, what we need that for. That will be one thing for the naan recipe as well, or the flatbread. We have some peanut butter cups. These are just for snacking. I have not been able to go to Costco to get their their clean version of the peanut butter that just has peanuts and salt. I have seen online that I can buy organic peanuts. So I have been debating if I want to buy some whole peanuts online, sprout them, and make my own sprouted peanut butter, or if I just want to go to Costco and buy the peanut butter they have there. I haven't really decided yet. But basically I want to start making my own peanut butter cups. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know what I end up deciding. So my boys this week is like the week leading into Easter. So they have a lot of class parties. I have 2 kids in preschool. So I signed up to bring for their class party for one of them some goldfish. I don't think I needed that big of a bag, but that's what Aldi had. So that's what I bought. And then for the other son, I signed up to bring applesauce pouches. They didn't have any of their just like regular applesauce. They had apple cinnamon, and then they had these, but I needed to have a 13 count. So these are each 12. So I'm just going to send in both these pouches. The kids will be able to pick what they want, and then the teachers will just send the extras home with me. So this is normally not something that I would have bought, all of these things. And these 2, we have to send, each kid needs 12 Easter eggs filled for their Easter egg hunt. So I just got these to put in there. My husband and I were debating on what we wanted to fill them with, but at Aldi I saw these. It was like $3 for one of these. So I just went ahead and grabbed those. So all of this stuff is for their school and is normally not something that we would be buying, but obviously with Easter, they're doing all the class parties and the celebrations. So that's our way of contributing. We have some frozen organic strawberries. This is what I will use to make homemade fruit strips with. And also too, if we run out of the strawberry banana blend, my boys will just start eating those because they are absolutely obsessed with strawberries. If you just saw my Sam's Club haul, we bought 4 pounds of strawberries, and we've already probably about like halfway through with those. And it's Sunday, and we bought those, I think on Thursday, I think is when my son had his appointment. That's when we were by Sam's Club. We have some dark chocolate chips that'll just be used for snacking or like any kind of baking that we do. I haven't been doing it as much, so I do still think I have another bag left over, but I like to just stay on top of the ingredients in the pantry because I don't always have a meal plan, so it's nice to just like have the ingredients when I need it. I bought 4 containers of hot dogs, or 4 packages of their hot dogs. I think this was probably about $20 total in hot dogs. We're going to eat probably 1 of these packages for lunch today, and then I will have hot dogs for the rest of the week if anyone wants those for lunches, or it's just like an easy dinner idea, something that I know my boys will eat. Some kids like the hot dog buns, some don't, so that should hopefully be enough buns for the amount of hot dogs that we have. And then I also bought 2 packages of bacon. Our farmer that we normally get our bacon and our like mild pork sausage from has been out of all of that stuff, and they raised their prices. So I've just been buying these until we're able to kind of get like a cleaner version from our farmer. I already talked about these Easter eggs. These are going to be what we fill their Easter eggs with. Parchment paper. I've been making homemade granola bars for them, like sourdough granola bars. And so I've been getting this parchment paper to put in the tray that I do that in. So that way it's an easier cleanup. And then once the granola bars have set, I just take it out of the tray that it's in, and then I just have it sitting in the fridge. So it's like, I'm not like wasting my dishes always. This fresh ground turkey is for our dog. He is on a raw diet, and we found that the chicken we were giving him, I think he was having allergic reactions to. So he's got this fresh ground turkey. I did just speak with one of my like dog friends, and there's a place in like a local town like next to us that we can get turkey necks from. I know Walmart sells turkey necks, but they always just don't look appetizing, and they're not, I don't know, it just doesn't like look like something I'd want to eat. But she said that she gets like a huge bag of turkey necks for I think around $7. She ends up making bone broth with hers, but I thought that would be a good thing to add into his diet. I just haven't been able to make it down there yet. It's called Frontier Meats, and it's in Waxhaw. So yeah, we'll eventually make it down there, and I'll like see what the prices are and everything else. But until then, he's just getting the ground turkey. We have, and that's also, this is in a separate budget. And then this is their summer sausage. I bought 2 packages of them. My middle son, Adam, likes to either have the summer sausage or hot dog for his lunches. And also Evan, like my youngest, he's not picky. He'll eat the pepperoni, the hot dogs, the summer sausage. He doesn't care. So I just bought 2 in hopes that that'll last us 2 weeks, because it normally seems to be that we go through one of those a week if that's what they're choosing. Sometimes they just want the hot dogs, and then that'll last a while. So we'll see how that ends up. And then we also have 2 bags of their strawberry banana blend. That is what I will use to make our kefir smoothies. Now that strawberries and bananas are in season, I have been starting to freeze our own bananas and strawberries, so the boys have that to snack on as well. But with the way we're going through strawberries and bananas, it's almost like I need to buy a container just specifically for that, along with the bananas. The bananas that we got at Sam's Club are still pretty ripe, so I haven't frozen them yet. But the way they eat through this bag is crazy. So that way, like, I just need to plan ahead when I go to the grocery store and know that, okay, this package and this bunch of bananas is going to be frozen. So that way I'm kind of like counting that in with everything else, so I don't have to keep buying those, because that I think is around $5 a bag, and this was $5.99, so that's almost $6 for like 2 pounds, maybe, not even. It says 24 ounces. I'm not sure, like 1.5 pounds. So there are local farms by us here. So we do have some farms local to us that we can go and pick strawberries, because now they're in season. One of them you have to have reservations for, and they are like completely booked for reservations. The other one is like a drop-in, but I was thinking about taking the boys on Friday, but then my husband was like, are you sure you want to take the 3 boys strawberry picking by yourself? Their ages are 5, 4, and 2. The older 2 would be fine, but our youngest is like wild and a madman, so I'm not sure that I want to sign up for that. If not, we'll probably just go on the weekend, but it looks like their pricing is about $4 to $5 a pound for the strawberries, which is pretty consistent with what we are getting at the produce stand. So at our produce stand, they go down to South Carolina and picks them up from a farm there, but they sell it for $21 a gallon, which is about 4 pounds of strawberries. So that's pretty consistent. They're the only organic farm, like I said, is reservation only, so we don't really have that as an option to go there and pick from. All the other ones obviously spray with chemicals. That kind of just is what it is. I would prefer to have like the fresh picked strawberries, because I know it has more of a nutritional value to it than the strawberries that are like at the grocery store and have been sitting for a while, because like as you pick the food or as you harvest the food, it loses nutritional value each day that it sits. So that's just like a little tip. That's why people want, like, why you should be trying to like eat farm fresh or farm to table, that kind of stuff. Right now we are just on a budget trying to pay off some debt. So that's why we are choosing to go to Aldi and do it this way. But ultimately that's where we want to be at, is either growing our own food or buying it from a local farmer. Now that the farmers markets are back open too, we will be able to start shopping more there. We are just starting to have like a really busy, it's Saturdays from 8 to 12, and we're just starting to like really have busy weekends. So it's going to be hard like navigating that. It might be something that I just get up early and go and do it before the boys are awake, which is fine. I have no problem doing that. And it's kind of easier too when it's just me versus like the whole family, because like I said, 3 boys is kind of chaotic when you're out in places, or just, 3 kids in general. So back to the groceries. Everything that we got at Aldi was $153 with tax. So when I was like scanning everything, it came out to $149. I really, with our budget, because we did the eggs and the milk, we're probably a little bit over this week. Well, I've been budgeting $250 for every week for our groceries, including the raw milk. So we might still be in budget depending on if I need to go back and get more apples or milk. I still need to like run the numbers with everything. And also too, Roscoe's food is about $20, and that has a separate budget too. So I guess we will stay in budget if I think of it that way. But yeah, so that is everything that we got this week for our family of 5. We shopped at Sam's Club and Aldi. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.